a video based on a minor small bug out bag and the larger bag, which I said was kind of a bug out bag slash inch bag. But now I want to go like pretty much whole hog and show you what my concept is for a true inch bag. This thing is built around a Kelty Red Cloud 90. It's a 55 cubic inch pack or a 90 liter pack. It's the largest pack I own, and I think it's the best pack I own. This is an older version. You can't find this particular bag anymore. They've updated it, and I don't like the new one as much as I do the old one. If I was to leave the house and have to survive in the wild or have to survive out there with, you know, at the very last resort is what I'm saying, this is the bag that I would carry. This has pretty much a lot of the stuff that was in the other bag, but extra stuff. Now this bag is about the upper limit of what I would consider a man-portable system. This thing weighs almost 60 pounds. And I know there's probably some military guys out there who claim they carry more in the Army, but, you know, I'm not a military guy. I'm a 45-year-old guy who tries to stay in shape, but 60 pounds on my back is about my limit. Now I can haul this. I've done it, but it is not a pleasant chore to do. But I did want to show it to you because there's a lot in this thing right there that, you know, it's probably extreme for some people. But I wanted to show you some of the things. Now this pack has a lot of external pouches. There's a sleeping bag compartment down here. There's a pouch on each side. There's a pouch on top. And this top thing will actually come off and become like a little butt pack. And then there's a pass-through on each side. And there's little zipper compartments. And I wanted to show you everything I can first. Now this may take a little while because there's more stuff in this thing. And there might be some redundancy with the other bag, because there's some of the same gear that was in that bag is also in this bag. But I wanted to show it to you. Alright, and I'm going to start right now with under this flap right here, because this is something you haven't seen yet. This is the first aid kit that I usually have in my car. This is the Blackhawk medical roll. This thing here is loaded down with first aid items. This usually does not stay with this bag, but this would go there where it was if I was to ever leave the house and in an I'm never coming home type situation. This would be the first aid kit I would carry. You saw the little red ones that I had in the other pack. This here is far more comprehensive, and I will be doing a video based on my car first aid kit, which is this is only a part of. There's actually a large duffel bag that this itself sits in. It has other things in it. But, you know, I'm not going to show you the stuff in this because I'm saving it for the first aid kit video. But I wanted to show you that this does ride right there and it's part of it. Alright. Now, this thing right here, I've incorporated some things into it that aren't necessarily needed. I have the foam earplugs, for shooting. I have a couple of measuring spoons. These are definitely not needed, but they're good for measuring out water for the mountain house meals. And then I have a bottle of rim oil and a bottle of bore cleaner. This here is just for cleaning the guns. And the little AR-7 22 rifle is in this pack. But, in my regular everyday carry, I do carry a 9mm. So I have the cleaning supplies for both of those. Alright. And this thing here, that's all there is, but there is another compartment on the back side of this, which I'll show you here in a minute. On the side here, you've seen the axe already. This is the, this is the same axe. This is the Husqvarna carpenter's axe, and it's a very nice, short, compact axe. It has a lot of capability for something this size. And it's hand-forged in Sweden, and it's very robust and very tough, and I love this thing. Now here's something you haven't seen before. On this side of the thing, I have the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. This thing here is a shovel, but it's also can serve as an axe by itself. If you needed a hatchet, this thing here will chop almost as good as most hatchets I've seen. This thing here is made of 1055 steel. It's got a nice sheath that you can actually hang on your belt. Now I have used the heck out of this thing over the years. I've wrapped it with like tennis racket tape so I can grip it really good and it won't cause blisters, but this thing is awesome. I also have the cold steel kukri machete. Now this thing here is good in the, in the summertime when you have to bushwhack, you want a machete, and this thing here will cut through almost anything. It's a shorter handled machete, but it chops like you wouldn't believe, and it can also be used as a backup for your hatchet or axe. Some people say having, the hatchet, having the axe, the shovel, and this thing might be overkill, but in an, I'm never coming home situation, tools are the one thing out there that you cannot recreate easily in the woods. So you want to have a lot of tools, and I have a lot of tools in this. Alright, and that's everything on the external pouch, except for, of course, a couple of carabiners. Now, in the sleeping bag compartment, I'm not going to take it out, but this is the same thing that was in the other one. It is the just the black intermediate bag of the MMS sleep system. That bag alone is really good for the area that I live in Tennessee. It does not get much colder than down to like in the 30s. Sometimes you'll have some cold days where it gets down in the 15s and stuff, but for the most part, this is good enough if you're out camping. And I do have other things in here to address if it's even colder. Alright, I'm going to lay this bag down so I can show you some things. As I was saying, this thing has a very nice suspension system built into it. You have aluminum stays, and this thing, the torso can be adjusted. This thing can slide up and down so you can adjust for the length of your back. Very nicely padded shoulder straps. And they have the elevators up here so you can pull them down, pull them up. Nicely padded with airflow. A really nice hip belt that's padded for the lumbar and on the sides. And these hip belts actually do adjust in more than one spot. They adjust in the back, and of course there's a very easy system here that you can adjust on the go. Once you put this pack on, it is very comfortable, even though it is fairly heavy the way I have it loaded out right now. Alright, these pads here each have a zippered compartment on them, and inside of each one of these I have a signal mirror, a map compass made by Silva, little miniature sewing kit in this one, and that's everything in that one. And this one here has the same thing, a little padded thing, and in here I have, see here, just an extension, a USB extension cord and a wire for charging certain items. I have a USB phone plug, which you've seen before. Let's see here, one of these Smith Pocket Pal Pluses. This thing here is actually cool because it has a knife sharpener, a whistle. There's a tiny little light on it. It has the rod, and it has a miniature ferro rod in it. And also in that pocket, I have one of my primary ferro rods. This thing is over a ½ an inch thick and like 5 inches long. There's thousands and thousands of strikes in this, and it gets used a lot. And that's everything in this side pocket here. There's pockets on both sides, and one here before you get into the main pack. This first side pocket, I have various tools of the trade that I might need. I was telling you in that last video about I was replacing my binoculars with monocular. This is the monocular that I picked. This is a 1025 power monocular. It's a Tasco, which means it's fairly cheap, but for what I use it for, it'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, it's just there for reconnaissance. It's not like I'm going to be bird watching with it. Alright, you've seen these before. These are the skyblazer area flares. These are actually good in an emergency situation if you need to be rescued and you see like a helicopter. This would be what you want. let's see here. I have my trusty, wire cutter, bolt cutters, miniature ones. These things here are pretty good when it comes to cutting smaller gauge stuff. It'll cut nails and wire. I have my little portable neck knife. This thing here is the cold steel roach belly knife. It doesn't weigh anything, and it's very, very sharp. It's, I mainly use it to process like fish and stuff, but this here is actually light enough to be a neck knife. So, and it's a backup, which I carry. You can tell by now that I'm a fan of cold steel products. Alright. I have my little mini crowbar here. This thing here is, well, it's good for breaching stuff. It's strong enough where you can get into windows, or if you got stuck on an elevator, you could pry that open or anything like that. Never know when you might need it. I have a little new dig it shovel, and these things are nice for well, small things you wouldn't want to use the cold steel shovel for, but it's good to have. Like I said, having tools is better than not having tools. And it provides a bit of redundancy. I have my little gun cleaning kit here. This goes along with that rim oil and everything I showed you. This has the brushes for a 22 and a 9mm, and all the rods and everything, pads and everything you need. This thing actually, this rod screws into it here, so you can actually use this as the bore cleaner. And it's good to have. A lot of people don't carry things to actually maintain their weapons. I have that little USB battery pack thing that I showed you. This thing here will let you charge your electronic items with regular AA batteries. And I have rechargeable batteries, so this is something that wasn't in the pack that should have been in the pack. And this is my saw. This is the Corona 10-inch saw, razor tooth saw. I think it's better than the Baco and every bit as good as some of the Silkies. This thing cuts fast, it cuts well, and I like it. And it's nowhere near as expensive. And that's everything in that side pouch. We'll flip it over now so you can get to the other side pouch. The other side pouch, and as it says right here, Red Cloud 90. The other side pouch has some interesting things. I carry a little Ozark trail. This is just a 200 lumen hand flashlight. This thing is very bright, but it's right where I can get at it right here. The very first thing you open up, it comes right out. I also carry a little bit of this biodegradable camp soap. You never know when you can need it. It's good for almost everything. It's only 4 ounces, but in an inch bag, say things that can be used up shouldn't be in an inch bag. And I agree in some ways, but it's also there. It'll last a little while. You can come up with alternatives later. Here's my primary cutting tool. This is usually on my hip, but I put it in the bag for it to be complete. This is the cold steel, SRK, this survival rescue knife. This thing has seen a little bit of use itself. It's been beat to death, but this is a very good knife. I'm not going to do a review on it because it's been reviewed to death on the internet, but it's very sharp. It's very tough. Has a very good, sheath, and it's a great knife. Alrighty. And here I also have this, the syringe for the sawyer filter. You've seen that. My little notebook. This thing right here is like a journal notebook, everything put together. You've seen that. I have a sharpening stone to keep all my blades thing. This has a very fine and a very coarse side. And it's good for the axe, the machete, all the blades. Let's see here. I have my little tackle box here. This thing has hooks, sinkers, and everything else in it. I have a mini copy of the SAS Survival Guide. This is the only physical book I have in here. I've got it wrapped in a Ziploc bag just in case. But, this is handy to have in almost any survival situation. Let's see here. I have the Sawyer squeeze water filter. It's larger than the mini, has a better water flow, and is, in my opinion, superior in every way to the mini, and it's not that much bigger. So I like this better. And Last but not least, you might think this is this is hokey, but this is one of the Ozark Trail hobo tools. This is bigger than the one I had in the other bag. It's a knife, fork, and a spoon combo. People think they're silly, but this thing, I've used it in actual real world situations, and it's nice to actually have a full size fork and a full size spoon and a fairly decent knife. These work, and they don't cost that much. I think under $4 at Walmart before tax. Let's see, and there's one more thing. This is a 4-way sillcock key. If you ever see water spigots outside of stores and stuff, they have hoses or hose bibs, but they don't have a handle on them. This thing here will open the water on those things. This has different sizes, so this will turn the spigots on. So if you're out and the water hasn't gone off and you need water, this will actually get you there. And it's something I think every survival bag should have. This back in there. There's a compartment on top here. It zips all the way around. And in this thing, I have quite a bit of stuff, to be honest. Alright, this is a Frog Togs poncho. This thing here is not the best. They're decent for the money. I'm going to replace this soon with the Snug Pack Patrol poncho. I think it's better quality and it doesn't take up any more space than this. But this thing here is good because pack covers are hard to find for a bag this big, but this will cover you and the pack at the same time. So if it rains, this is actually good. Let's see here. This is definitely not necessary, but this is a little, this would be one of the first things I would pitch in an emergency situation. But not everything I have a solar panel here, so this is a tiny little tablet with a keyboard. The main thing about this is I have so many books on survival and how to and all that other stuff on here. And also this thing here takes 32 gig chips, and you can put movies and TV shows and things on them. And I have a little thing here I call my, it's in a little Altoid tin, and I call this my end of the world library, and I have literally, each one of these is a 32 gigabyte chip that has movies and television shows and all my favorite stuff and music on it. I'm not gonna lie, I use a lot of this when I go camping, so this usually is with me. But, you know, if there was an EMP, it would be useless, but you never know. Alright. I have a bag for the squeeze filter. For some reason, I have another squeeze filter. That should not be in here, this should be in the other bag, so we're going to take this and put this over here. Alright. I have the same solar panel you saw in the other pack. You know, these things are useful. This is the big 10 watt one. I'm not even sure who makes this thing. Mercury makes this thing, I think. Mercury Portable Solar Power System, a 10 watt panel. Cool thing about this is the Goal Zero panel is only 7 watts, and this thing costs about half of what that thing costs. So this thing here is my pick for it. And this will charge all my electronics. Got a little USB spark force here. This is an additional extra ferro rod. They work pretty good. It's a good thing to have extras though. If you're going to have anything extra, you might as well have that ferro rod. Got a pack of wet wipes, wet ones. A little thing of camp soap, you've seen that before. And toothbrush. I have my, little headlamp. It has high, low, and a red beam, and it's literally, I think, 150 lumens. This is, if you're going to have light, a headlamp, I think, is more important than a hand light, although I have the hand light too. I have a little Altoids tin here, and this is just fire stuff. This is a tinder with Vaseline and cotton balls. Alright, I have a really big piece of an inner tube for make ranger bands out of. That'll last a while. Mosquito head net. Let's see here. Maps of my area in an atlas. Little thing of salt and pepper. These things are actually cool. You never know, it won't last forever, but it's nice to have it when you have it. Batteries, both AA and AAA, and these are the GP Recchio recyclable batteries, and these things are every bit as good as In Loops or anything like that. And of course, the little Cobra walkie-talkie. This is good because the other one is in the other bug out bag that you've seen, and this has a weather radio on it and all the GMRS, FMRS bands. Let's see here. That's everything in this middle pouch. Now this thing is a lot like a bucket pack, except for the sleeping bag compartment. The rest of this thing inside is just one big pocket that you can put a lot of stuff in. And I'm going to show you everything that's in it right now. Let's look at the lid. It has a compression strap here, and it's an overfilled bag, like an old army duffel. The first thing I have in here that you can see is just a boonie cap, and this is usually, near me. I usually wear this out when I'm camping. I have vacuum sealed 2 rolls of toilet paper. Now this won't last forever, but there's alternatives that I don't want to talk about, but you know what they are as well as I do. But it's nice to have when you have it. Bandana. This is flagging tape or trail marking tape. This is not really tape, but you mark trails with this stuff. It's highly visible. Let's see here. This is a cool little thing. This is the Coleman Mini Packer lantern. This thing here is only about 75 lumens, but it has a little thing in the back, so you can make a front thing. This is perfect for lighting up a tent. It doesn't throw a lot of light, but I have the headlamp and the smaller flashlight for that. Alright. I have my little safety glasses. I didn't show these. I showed the case, but these are almost like goggles in a way. I wear glasses, so these are polarized so they protect your eyes, but these will fit over my glasses, and they're shatter resistant, and they're actually like safety glasses, but they're also solar protected. It's nice to have in these. Alright, let's see here. Once again, have the Sawyer cook pot. This thing here, you remember, one of the best little cook pots in there. And I have this thing crammed full of Taster's Choice coffees, because I am a coffee drinker when I'm camping. And there's also got the 2 little nesting cups in there. They're great for coffee cups, so I keep them in there. Let's see here. I have a little pack of trash bags, and this here's just for extra waterproofing, or if I need to throw something away. It's just nice sometimes it's just nice to have a nice plastic bag. Have a little pack towel. This thing here absorbs a lot of water for its size. It's good to have. Let's see here. I have my little extendable fishing pole, and I have actually caught quite a lot of bluegill with this little pole. And panfish is really all you're looking for when you're survival camping. I mean, the trapping thing will do better. And I have the little Zebco Micro 303, or I'm sorry, Micro 33 that goes with it. This is actually a nice little combo together. And with that little tackle box, you can catch a lot of fish with it. I've done it. Alright. I have my little crank radio, my weather radio. This thing in there has a weather radio, AM, FM, flashlight. And it can be used with headphones. The flashlight's not too bright, but the radio works. I don't know if you can hear that.
13 miles an hour.
Alright. Great little radio to have. They don't cost that much. Let's see here. I have my light work gloves. These are more or less just what I would use when I was chopping, but if I was using heavy brush, I have a pair of heavier gloves that I would use. Let's see here. I have a roll of 50-foot of paracord, another roll of 50-foot of paracord, and then a little 18-foot hank that I use for a ridge line. And I think paracord's very good, but I don't 100% use it for everything. Let's see here. You've seen this before. This here is just a little zip pencil case that I bought. This here holds the bullets for my .22 rifle. There's over 1,000 CCI mini mags in here, hollow points. And this thing here, it's if you're going to be out forever, having 1,000 rounds of bullets is not bad to have. Alright. This is my food bag. Currently this thing has, let's see here, 8 Mountain House meals in it. Mostly the beef stew, the lasagna, and the biscuits and gravy, and the bacon and eggs. I like the breakfasts. I try to have 4 breakfasts and 4 regular meals in this thing. I know it's an inch bag, but I have other ways to procure food. But this here is something immediate while you're setting up camp and you don't have time to fish and stuff. Alrighty, what else? Alright, another bandana. This is a more visible one. I got this one in case you could flag this around and make a signal out of it. It's bright red and orange, so it's highly visible from a distance. Let's see here. I got my little propane stove thing. This thing is good because, you know, it has one of these little peak stoves. And of course this is not going to last forever, and this isn't I'm never coming home bag, but I actually have a bio stove in here that I'll use when this thing doesn't work out. But this also gets used when I go camping. And this thing is nice to have in the short term. When you no longer have cartridges and you no longer have this, you toss it, you don't have the weight anymore. Alrighty. Here's my good work gloves, the heavy rawhide leather ones. Everybody has seen a pair of these things. And this here is these will last a while, and these here will last and do quite a bit of work for you. Alright. Here's that inflatable pillow I was telling you about. Basically, this is just a felt bag that has a zipper on it, and there's a bladder in there that can be inflated and fill up the pillow. But the thing about it is, you don't have to. This thing pops, so you don't really have to have this. You could just fill this thing up with I could stuff a shirt in there. I could literally just stuff it with leaves. This thing's thick enough where nothing would stick out, but it's nice to have. A pillow's not necessary, but it's nice to have. I think a good night's sleep is the most important thing to have. Here's the bio stove I told you about, and you've seen this before. This is a little sterno stove, and I unfolded it in one video. But all you do is put it together like this, and it's got a grill on top. You can set your pots right on top of it. You can actually build a fire on the inside of it. It's had a few in there. You can see some burn marks in there. This thing is made out of low-grade steel, but just regular wood fire is not going to melt it. Trust me, I've done it. And this thing is nice to have. It counts as a stove if you're in a place that has a burn ban, so you can use it there. Here's my little folding Coughlin's frying pan for when I get a fish. This thing here, I had a cast iron one that was actually a little bit smaller than this, but it weighed more. So this thing here, with a little bit of olive oil or something in there, it would work good. It doesn't, like I said, it's not heavy. It's nice to have. Cookware is always good. Alright. I have a really large, full-size roll of bank line. This here has a very high load limit. It's not as strong as paracord, but it has over 350-pound test limit on it. This thing here is tarred, so it will stick to itself pretty good. You can smell the tar on it, and it's very strong cordage. There's a lot of cordage on there. This is a full-size roll. Good to have. Sometimes I'd rather have bank line than paracord. Alright, let's see here. You've seen this before. This is the Snug Pack Jungle Bag. One thing I didn't mention about this is this will completely unzip to make a full-size blanket. I was going to buy the jungle blanket until I read that, and this here is actually better, I think, in every way because it can be a sleeping bag or unzip into a blanket, and unzipped it's larger than the Snug Pack Jungle Blanket. It also, when it's zipped up in the sleeping bag configuration, has a mosquito net on it. And like I said on here, it has a fairly good rating for a bag this small. The comfort rating is 45 degrees and the low rating is 36. That's almost good enough for my area for like 3 seasons, like summer, fall, and spring. Along with the MS sleeping bag, this thing here can be put inside of that bag for double warmth, and it would be enough, I think, for any season around where I live. Alright, to go along with that, just in case, I have a little sleeping bag liner made by Ozark Trail. This is made of like polyester or something, but this will add a few degrees to that jungle bag so I wouldn't have to break out the big MMS sleep system. But this thing here cost like $5, so I thought I'd give it a try, and it does work. It does add some warmth, and it makes a halfway decent summer bag if you just want to have something thrown over you like a sheet. All right. The best thing I think, the best piece of gear I think I own right here, I've talked about this before, the Static V Recon inflatable sleeping mat. This thing right here weighs almost nothing. I mean, literally. This has seen some use. It weighs literally 18.6 ounces. It's a full-size pad. It's very thick when it's, One thing I didn't mention in the last one, though, is it actually has it comes with a repair kit inside this thing. So if this is only going to be used inside of my shelter, so the odds of it getting punctured will be rare, but if it does, it has a repair kit with it, and this thing is awesome. If you can't have a good night's sleep, then you're in trouble. Alright. Inside here, you've seen this as well. This is the Snug Pack Ionosphere single person tent. This thing is just big enough for a sleeping pack, a sleeping pad, the bag. You can put your pouch at your head and use it as a pillow, or you can, slide down a little bit. This thing's long enough where I can have my feet at the bottom and still have my pack at my head and be perfectly comfortable. It's not. A lot of people say you can't change clothes in this thing because you can't really set up, but I've done that. I mean, you can. I think it's one of the best things, and I think it should be standard issue for the military all over the world. These things are awesome to have. They don't weigh that much, and it's also, the tent is also this color on the inside, so it blends in with your environment. I have one that's similar to this, which is called, it's a civilian thing. It's called the Eureka Solitaire, and that thing's bright yellow and black. You can see it for a mile. This thing is similar to that, slightly bigger, and it's very discreet. Let's see here. And you've seen this before, the Henry Survival AR-722 rifle. This thing here is really cool because it's a full-size rifle. It's a 22, but I mean it's but it's in a survival situation, if you want to eat, having a firearm is much handier even than that slingshot that I have. I would put meat on the table with this, no problem. The only thing about this thing right there that I don't like is this thing is in order to incorporate the entire rifle inside this thing's kind of thick, but it is a great rifle, and this thing will float. You can throw this in water and it will float. That's how little it weighs. Alright, what else do I have? Alright, I've shown you this before. I have clothes, because I believe that all your survival stuff should have at least a full change of clothes. And this is a heavy duty, long sleeve winter shirt. And this thing is warm because I've worn it camping quite a bit. Let's see here. I have long underwear bottoms and long underwear shirt tops, and I would sleep in these probably. I have a set of swimming trunks for the summertime. Let's see here. I need to darn these. I have have an extra pair of summer socks and an extra pair of thick wool socks, and I would probably sleep in these as well. They would probably be my sleeping socks. Alright, underwear, but they're synthetic, so they don't, but the thing about it is these are very bright colors, so if I needed a signal, I would have that as well. And then, these are my favorite pants in the world. I have a bunch of these. These are the SOG tactical pants. The cool things about these is they have multiple pockets, and I have, these things were like $35, and then they were selling them. They went on clearance at Walmart, and they were selling them for $5 a piece, and I bought every pair they had. So I have like 20 pairs of these things now. And let's see, that's everything in the back. Now, I didn't show you the MMS sleep system, but you've seen that. So I believe that this bag could be used, in any emergency situation. I would also be carrying this Stanley Canteen. This is a stainless steel model, and it's got a shoulder strap. This wouldn't be in the bag. It would be on my person so I could drink it on the go. But I like having a good quality canteen, and this thing is very nice. It actually has two openings. You can take this top cap here off to drink, and then this bottom one comes up to have a very wide mouth so you can clean it easily or boil water. This thing here will hang over a fire because you can take this strap off. This strap has Velcro, so I can take the strap off, put wire on it, make a bail, and hang it very easily. And this thing is very handy to have. So I hope you like the inch bag idea. My next video I will show you will be probably the first aid kit video, and I'll be showing you various different things for that. So hope you like that video. I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching.